Alright, so here's the G2 Ergonomics Mongo handguard mount. These are the most adjustable handguard mounts on the market. They attach to your forks, the top of your forks, instead of the handlebar, so you don't have as much interference with the cables. But yeah, you can see it has many different options of mounting. You can mount it on this side. It's gonna inlay it a little bit. If you flip it around and use the opposite one, it's gonna push it farther out. The top mount is fully twistable, and you can see on the inside it has 3 different holes, so you can mount it farther out or farther in. So yeah, these would be great, so you can fit them on mini bikes. And I'll show you. I got one partially mounted up on the KLX 300, and I'll show you how that mounts. Looks like it's going to work out pretty good. But yeah, due to the added thickness, it does come with longer bolts, and the top section is threaded. So it does come with the threaded bolt for the top and a lock nut. So yeah, so here's if you guys can see the part numbers. So yeah, I'll show you them mounted on the bike. Alright, so yeah, most people when they install handguards, they're mounting to the handlebars somewhere in here, and then you have like the U clamps, and it just kind of gets in the way of the brake cable, clutch, other wires. On this side, a lot of times they're hitting the brakes or other things interfering with the installation. But most dirt bikes I see have the clamp bolts on the outside, but on the KLX 300 they're mounted on the front. So yeah, you'll take those out. Got this one mounted up, and you can see if you put it this way, it's going to push it forward and interfere with the plastic a little bit, but by spinning it around, gaining about a 1/2 inch, so sets it in there, no interference with the plastic. And then you have the throttle cables right here, plenty of room for them to move around. Then you have the spinning top section that lets you get the right angle. So let me get the other side installed, and we'll see how it fits. Alright, so here's the handguards I decided to go with. They are the Cycra Pro Bend Ops model. Got some cool kind of camo. I went with the green color to match the green accents on my KLX 300. They look like they're gonna have a nice bend. Looks like it's gonna clear all the levers. They also come with these plastic outside strips that sit on the outside of the bar, so when you do lay it over, it kind of protects the aluminum. Of course, instructions, mounting hardware, and the handlebar inserts. But yeah, we'll see what I do. I know inside of the grips, or inside of the handlebar, there's the welded plug in there, and I'm probably gonna drill it out and tap it and see what I can do there. And then might put maybe like a 1/8 of an inch or so spacer to space it off the grip. You can see that's gonna fit in there. Nice. Be sitting right about there. You can see it clears the front brake by a lot. And I do have my brakes tilted down a little bit, and you can see it clears the banjo bolt. So this seems like it fits a lot better than some of the other handguards I've seen online so far in any of the forums or on YouTube. But another thing I do is I do have my brakes and clutch levers inward a little bit more and tilted down. Helps with stand-up riding, and I don't really use all my fingers. I'll usually just do one finger braking, a couple fingers. All right, we're working on the throttle side. Heat up we got here a 5/8 inch socket. Heat it up with the propane torch. Line it up. Stick it in there. Get it to focus. But yeah, it cuts a pretty clean hole in the grip. Throttle side's a little bit harder because it has the plastic of the throttle to go through. The clutch side, I'm drilling it out right now so I can tap it. I need to cut out this extra rubber that squeezed out, but yeah, it makes a nice circular hole. All right, so we drilled out the plug with a 17/64 drill bit. Now we are tapping it for the M8 by 1 1/4 screw. And remember, when you're tapping, use some sort of lubricant and go little by little, clean it out, back it up little by little. That's how you properly cut threads. When you're cutting, you want to make sure you're taking it out every once in a while to clean it. You can see all the shavings on there. If you don't take it out and back it up very often, you're going to get it all jammed up in there. So yeah, take it out and clean it as you're cutting. Got the hand guards all installed. Everything's tight. No interference with anything. And I do have my clutch and brake moved in and down a little bit, but even if it was in the stock location, I'm pretty sure it'd still have plenty of room. I added a couple washers and a 1/2 inch spacer to space it out a little bit, just to kind of give you more room for your hand. Sit on it. You can see there's no interference with the clutch cable, brake line going up and down, no issues. I do have 30mm risers on here, and still plenty of cable room right there. On the brake side, then again, I have it moved in a little bit. Plenty of room for the brake. Cables, plenty fine. I got the bolt on this side and the nut on this side just to kind of, if it does rub on there, it's not going to be tearing anything up. So yeah, looks like it's got plenty of clearance for everything. What else? Cut the grips out with a hot socket. Gave me a nice clean hole. No issues there. One thing I did with these hand guards is the stickers, it's got some weird angles on them and they're kind of coming up, so I got my heat gun and heat the stickers up and reapply, like press down on them, and yeah, it looks like they're staying put now. These 3 bolts went in fine. Only issue was on this outer plastic protector. these did not line up right. You can see I had to bevel out the edge of the plastic to get it to fit. Not a huge deal, but if they would have just drilled the holes either 3 millimeters to the left or remolded the plastic, it was like that on both sides. And the aluminum insert for the actual handguard, all the holes are not threaded, so I tapped those, so all these screwed in a lot easier. You can see the G2 Mongo mount just barely clears that plastic with it. With the bottom piece, I have it inset a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. See, it's like in the inward position, and then the top piece is in the tilted out position, and on both sides I'm in the middle position on the top screw. So you kind of get this where it's going to fit right, hold this, tighten down that top screw, and then you can put that in. G2 has some YouTube videos where you can check that out. This side was the same. You can see it's not hitting any plastic. Got it in the inset position, top mount, outward position, a little bit of an angle. One thing I had to kind of think about was this brake mount. I don't know what you call that, but it normally goes on the front of your pinch bolts, and I moved it and it wasn't going to fit there unless I remade the mount, rebent it, because this part right here sticks out too much. So I actually put it in between the pinch bolts of the clamp. And normally I wouldn't say that because that wouldn't let that tension correctly on your fork tube. But if you look at this side, I torqued it down, both of them down to 15 foot-pounds, and it's almost exactly the width of this metal, so I'm not too worried about this not getting a full grip on there. Should be fine, especially for the kind of riding I am doing. I haven't got this thing to bottom out yet, and I've gone off some pretty big stuff. But yeah, out of all the handguards I've seen, these seem like they fit the best without any interference, no cutting of levers, and they make them in different colors. And I think it matches the green pretty good. But yeah, if you guys have any issues or problems installing them, ask me some questions. I can probably help you out. I spent several hours on this just because drilling and tapping out the plug on the inside takes a little bit of time, making sure that I'm not getting any metal shavings in the throttle tube. I got my air compressor and kind of blew air in there all the way through to kind of blow out all the chips, so there's no chips in the throttle. What else? Yeah, so now if I drop my bike, levers should be protected, and protect me from limbs and wind when it's cold out. Not sure what else I'd do to this bike. It's getting pretty close to being done. Still got to replace the tires here. Maybe another couple 100 miles, I'll replace the tires. You can see they're starting to get pretty low. Maybe 430 seconds or so left on them. Almost have 2,000 miles, so about 2,000 miles for mostly street. A little bit of off-road riding is pretty good. Right on. Hope you guys enjoy the info.